The dash clock reads 4:37 a.m. We've been driving for hours. My eyes burn, but I've definitely been in worse shape. At least this time I've got company. Gotta say, though, something in my gut is saying this is all kinds of wrong. Nah, it's way too quiet. I deploy my remaining baby, a little fly spy I call Mosquito, to watch our tail. Just because we can't see them doesn't mean they're not there. That's rule number one of survival in this business. I start checking the van footage, look for anything they might have slapped on while we were playing nuclear tourist, but yeah, it's gonna take some time. Then the pressure sensors light up all at once, all 4 tires screaming warnings at me. My hand goes for my pistol as I swerve onto the shoulder. 10 tense minutes later, I'm staring at the diagnostic panel in disbelief, a 1 in a million bit flip error. So, every tire sensor glitched at the same exact moment? Yeah, okay, smells fishier than Rufus's breath. After some time, though, it seems like it is what it is. And anyway, we got somewhere we need to be, so...
Ghosts. Just not the ones you're thinking of.
Maybe it's sleep deprivation, but I swear sometimes that old witch knows things she shouldn't. Like she's listening to frequencies the rest of us can't hear. I put the van back on the road, but my eyes keep drifting to the football-sized case of Armageddon tucked between duffel bags in the back. Ugh. Just drive, Chuck.
The storm is gone. For days, weeks, really. I've felt it building in my mind. A pressure behind my eyes, a constant whisper at the edge of hearing. Like the approach of a thunderstorm you can feel in your bones before the clouds ever show. Now there's just silence. Beautiful, blessed silence. Rufus purrs against my side, his warmth a comfort. He knows it too. The threat has passed, for now at least. The Blue Witch is gone, her astral signature snuffed out like a candle in a hurricane. I wouldn't have wished such an end on her, powerful as she was. Magic recognizes magic after all. We're a dwindling tribe in this chrome-edged world.
You feeling better, Heyoka?
Like I've been run over by a dragon and then invited to tea afterward. But I'll live. Astral combat takes it out of you, especially against someone that powerful.
What happened back there? It was the blue one? The witch?
Imagine fighting someone, but instead of punches, you're throwing pieces of your soul at each other. And each hit doesn't just hurt your body. It damages the very thing that makes you, you.
So, when the building came down?
Her physical form was inside. The connection between body and spirit severed in an instant. Not a good way to go.
But, I mean, you won, right?
Nobody wins in magic, dear. Some of us just survive a little longer. Nah, he nods, her eyes serious. She understands loss, this one. The cost of battle beyond the physical. Honestly, I have no idea if the Blue Witch was even the reason the storm isn't, well, wherever it is anymore. I'm not going to look too much into that for the moment. I stroke Rufus's fur, feeling him purr against my fingertips. Outside the window, the pre-dawn landscape rolls by, a blur of redwoods, ruined concrete and shadow. Somewhere in the darkness ahead lies the auteur and whatever fate he has in store for us. I hope he's okay, that we never wound up making him his sensual, erotic history film.
5 hours of driving through terrain that makes the worst parts of the Sioux Nation look like paradise. My jaw aches from grinding my teeth. This cram is good, but there's always going to be side effects. The Heyoka finally seems peaceful. Whatever war she was fighting in the astral, it's over now. Still don't fully understand magic. Probably never will. But I know a fellow soldier when I see one. Different battlefields. Same 1,000-yard stare. Chuck's paranoia is justified. Been checking our 6 myself every 20 minutes like clockwork. Survival instinct. But I'm starting to think we actually pulled it off. The palace destroyed, the Heartsworn leadership decimated, and us somehow still breathing. With a nuclear football as a souvenir. Speaking of which, there it sits. Unassuming case. Deceptively ordinary. Could erase Seattle from the map with the right codes. I keep thinking about what would have happened if my old unit had recovered something like this. Protocols, containment, disposal. By the book. Through the windshield, the first hint of dawn bleeds into the eastern sky. By the time the sun fully rises, we'll be at the auteur's den. Time to find out if this job was worth it, or if we've just graduated from small-time runners to world-class targets.
The art of the debrief is something they teach extensively in corporate training. How to spin a failure, how to magnify a success, how to establish exactly what information your superiors need to know versus what they definitely don't. I'm mentally preparing our presentation to the auteur. Key points. Mission accomplished successfully. Unexpected complications handled professionally. Minimal collateral damage, relative to the value of the objective. Excellent team dynamics. Now, do we mention the nuclear football? On the one hand, it's quite the trophy and demonstrates our resourcefulness. On the other hand, it's literally a world-ending weapon that might attract more attention than even the auteur wants. Corporate negotiation 101, never reveal all your assets in the initial meeting. Kelso keeps fidgeting in his sleep. Poor guy. He's undoubtedly rehearsing his own explanation for why things went sideways on his watch. Having been on the wrong end of an executive's displeasure more than once, I almost feel sorry for him. Almost.
Hey, Sal. You think the auteur knew? About the witch? The football? All of it?
Well, he certainly didn't warn us. Either he didn't know, which means his intel isn't as good as he thinks, or he did know, and decided it would be more interesting to see how we handled it.
Yep, that's real reassuring.
Welcome to management psychology. Either way, we delivered the box. That's what matters. Oh, and let's not forget our little nuclear bonus prize. Whoa! Why did I just start sounding like a super villain there all of a sudden? Huh. Weird. Anyway, all I'm saying is that now we have options. And options are power in any negotiation. The auteur wants his puzzle box, but we have something that others might want even more. Leverage. Not that I'd suggest crossing the auteur, of course. That would be suicide and just bad business at this point. But it does change the dynamic of our relationship. From disposable assets to valuable partners. The sun's coming up. A new day. And hey, maybe a new beginning for our little team of misfits. That's the thing about the shadows. Sometimes the darkest runs lead to the brightest opportunities. If we all play our cards right, this could be the start of something lucrative. Or, I'll wind up having to brutally murder them all like I did with the last bunch. Okay.
The auteur's den looks just like it did when we left. Weird old abandoned library on the outside, temple of weirdness on the inside. We file out, stretching cramped muscles, gathering our gear. The puzzle box goes to Sal. He's got the best pitch. The nuclear football? We decide to bring it in. Hiding it seems more suspicious than owning our acquisition. Plus, it makes one hell of a bargaining chip. You know what old Chuck says when he gets in this kind of tight spot? It ain't gambling going all in with somebody else's chips, sweetheart.
Different watcher out front. Security upgrade? Possibly. Though things seemed lax, like we were expected most likely. Inside, it seems like the auteur hasn't moved from behind the desk the entire time. Tactical position. Clear sight lines to all entrances. That's most likely his overall philosophy for everything, I would imagine. His eyes track the box in Sal's hands like a sniper tracking a target.
The auteur's setup is even more theatrical than I remember. The lighting, the desk arrangement, the strategically placed shadows. Oh, the Pez dispensers. Whoops. Stay focused there, Sal, buddy. Pure corporate psychological tactics, just with more flair. There's a lot of buzz in here. activity just at the edge of things. His whole operation has that recently upgraded feel, like when a startup suddenly gets major backing. His eyes light up at the box, but his body language remains controlled. Classic negotiation posture. I want it, but you'll never know how much.
The astral signature in this place has shifted. Cleaner, more focused, like someone's done some major spiritual housekeeping. The auteur's aura pulses with anticipation, little tendrils of magical energy practically reaching for the box. Rufus's hackles are up. He sees it too. Something's different. The auteur isn't just pleased, he's triumphant, like we've just handed him the final piece of something much larger.
The auteur's got that same creepy yet annoying vibe, but there's something else now. Like a tiger that's finally spotted prey after a long hunt. Yeah, we just walked into something bigger than a simple payoff.
He has a speech prepared. Of course he does. So, I don't do accents, but he says, the usual low wail of the barons was broken this night. It was punctuated by the sudden, indignant screams of those who thought themselves apex predators. But predators, like all things, must slip into the ever-present abyss.
Way to bring the winning energy in the room down, S.A. I catch Sal's eye. He gives a tiny shrug. Translation. The auteur knows what went down and he's not upset about it. Good news for us.
The auteur's entire setup screams calculated impression management. The shadows hitting his face at that precise angle, the dramatic pause before he speaks. Pure theater, but effective. I recognize quality stagecraft when I see it. I step forward, presenting the box with just the right balance of reverence and professionalism, along with some theatrical flourishes of my own.
Sal presents the box with his corporate flourish. The auteur takes it, and the astral plane shivers in response. I clear my throat, drawing attention that feels like a spotlight. The box. Does it truly twist fate, as they said? The auteur regards me, his aura pulsing with colors that have no names in metahuman languages. He says nothing, but the silence speaks volumes. Yes, then. The rumors were true. The meeting continues. New yen changes hands, but I'm watching the box. It sits in the auteur's hands like it belongs there, like it's found its way home after a long journey. The patterns on its surface shift subtly, visible only in astral space. Fascinating. Terrifying.
Harriet asks about the box's ability to twist fate. The auteur responds with silence, the oldest power move in the book. Answer questions with nothing and watch people scramble to fill the gap. I respect the technique, even as I mentally file it away as confirmation. The box is significant beyond its physical properties. He has another speech prepared. I love this guy.
Huh? What? Again? Fine. You have stepped out onto the thin ice over the bleak chaos of the barrens and survived. Even thrived. You will be rewarded.
Fancy way of saying we get paid.
Double the remaining amount. Generous, but not excessively so. We could have pushed for more, but when you're standing in the presence of someone who collects mystical artifacts and employs spirits as assistants, sometimes you take the win and move on. I catch Nahi's eye. She's thinking the same thing I am. We've been upgraded from expendable to valuable. In this business, that's practically job security.
Not bad for a night that included nuclear devices and collapsing buildings. I can't help myself. I asked the auteur about my lost drone. You know, expenses for damages. That was expensive tech. Get this, he doesn't even lift that big mysterious head of his and says, submit a memo. Ha! You know what, I'm not even mad. Okay, I'm a little mad, but still, that was pretty funny. Paperwork, nice.
The auteur's attention suddenly fixes on me, pulling me back to the material plane. You, he says, you have touched powers beyond the ordinary, faced a worthy adversary in the astral. Yeah, you could say that. He nods to Flutter, who approaches with hands glowing. The healing magic washes over me, Skilled work, if a bit showy. A small token of appreciation, the auteur says, as Flutter presents me with a leather package. For one who walks between worlds. I accept it with appropriate reverence, feeling the power within before I even open it. The threads of fate tangle around us all, but they converge most densely on the box. Whatever game the auteur is playing, we've just advanced it significantly. Rufus meows again. As usual, he's right. We should leave while we still can.
I thought Kelso might be a goner, but looks like the auteur has forgiveness in his heart. Oh, it comes with a long-term payment plan, but it's better than a more permanent termination package. Something to remember, I guess.
More figures emerge from the shadows around us. The auteur's crew. A dozen strong, at least. Their eyes lock onto the puzzle box with unmistakable hunger. Whatever that thing is, it means more to them than I realized. And also, I just want to point out that I was right earlier. The auteur does indeed appear to have a weird little Baron's Wizard enclave going on here. Oh, and the auteur mentioned he may have more work for us. So, you know, if we're still alive in a few hours, days, or super long shot, weeks from now, we have that to look forward to.
He says we're dismissed. I suppose it was his meeting, so that's his choice. We're free to return to our lives, recover our strength. He'll contact us when the time is right. With that, he turns his attention fully to the puzzle box, as if we've already ceased to exist. I know how he feels. I've got a box of my own to deal with.
I stand up, stretching my old bones. Something is coming. I can feel it in the spaces between worlds. But for now, we're alive. We're paid, and we have options. In the sixth world, that's about as good as it gets.
It just feels like an overused trope at this point, but let's do this, I guess. Career advancement in Shadowrunning isn't exactly structured. No performance reviews, no promotion track. But blowing up a post-apocalyptic warlord's palace in an irradiated wasteland and stealing a nuclear football gets you noticed. My comlink won't stop buzzing with job offers. Mostly demolition work. Apparently I've been typecast. Still living in the same place. Still living in the Barrens. It was 8,000 new yen, not 1,000,000, come on. It's fine. Relatively quiet building. They took a year paid up front in cash with no questions. Has a pretty secure garage. Ticks all the boxes. The place even has this really nice little spot near the window where light sometimes comes in at a very specific time of day. And I can just sort of stand there and let the sun, haze, warm up my face. For a few minutes, every couple of weeks. You know, when it's not raining? Yeah. So... that's me at the Mo. The team? The team is... well, we haven't really met up. Not in person. Not since... you know. Boom? Haha. They're good people for criminals. Sal keeps sending weird emojis. Random clips from old pre-crash stuff. And, something called memes. Anyway, we all know what he's talking about. The football. We still gotta deal with it. When I was with the Wildcats, we had a saying. You're only as good as your last mission. Our last mission involved nuclear weapons, a troll king, a magic box, and exploding buildings. And, according to everyone, though I have absolutely no recollection of this, I fell in love. So, yeah, I guess we're pretty good.
Career rehabilitation is an art form. You know, just 1 month ago, I was sleeping mostly sitting up on a broken toilet at Astral Rejection. dodging second-rate corporate hit squads, and doing everything possible to avoid a hepatitis infection. Now I'm fielding calls from those same corporations asking if I'd be interested in consulting opportunities. My God, that is what America's all about, isn't it? I've moved 6 times in the last month. Security precaution. This hotel has excellent room service and mediocre security, but it's all about balancing lifestyle with survival. The team's dynamic has evolved in fascinating ways. I haven't seen them in person since last time. It's not the time. Still, I'm having them followed and monitored. Oh, don't worry. Don't worry, it's all in a completely safe professional associate way, not a creepy and scary professional associate way. Mostly, irregardless, it's nothing too terribly invasive or non-consensual. Chuck's installed so many scanners and security devices in his van that it now resembles a mobile conspiracy theory. Harriet started dressing better. Apparently, near-death experiences inspire fashion upgrades. And Nahi smiled yesterday, nearly fell out of my chair. Oh, that's my 4th job offer today, something about asset retrieval from an Az technology research facility. I believe the technical term for our current status is hot commodity. Yeah, it's all nice, but I still only have eyes for one job. Selling this football is definitely going to be our masterpiece.
What did I do with the money? What haven't I been doing with the money? For starters, I bought tea. Proper tea. Not that reconstituted soy protein nonsense they sell at Stuffer Shack. Real tea. The kind that makes the spirits sit up and take notice. There's a little import shop in the International District run by an old woman who might be a dragon. Or just very good at customer service. Hard to tell sometimes. So, well, indeed. That's actually it, really. Bought a bunch of tea. The rest of the money is stuffed into a sock somewhere. The astral plane has been absolutely buzzing about us. Like teenagers gossiping after prom night. The balance of power has shifted. Not just in the barrens, in the spaces between. The collapse of the palace created ripples that are still expanding, metaphysically speaking. I've been having the strangest dreams lately. The whole team has, actually. Same dream, different nights. Like remembering moments, events, about the crash zone and the palace and the king, but remembering them before it all happened. And remembering moments and events that didn't happen, but could have. I mean, this is magic. No matter what they tell you nowadays. It's not a science. Our old spot in the alley right next to Beetlebow was untouched. So was Beetlebow. The wards I put down before we left worked like a charm. I've still got it. The universe has plans for us, or someone does. Until then, I've upgraded my tea selection. Seeing the future is much more pleasant with proper Earl Grey.
People look at riggers like me living in our vans and they think, oh, there's a tough, mysterious, but strong-looking guy. I bet he's a stone-cold killer. Or, they think, drifter. Like we don't care about roots. Like home is just some abstract concept we abandon for the open road. Biggest load of dreck I ever heard. My rig isn't just a vehicle. It's the most consistent home I've ever had. I know every bolt, every wire, every quirk in the engine. When something's off by even a millimeter, I feel it. That's not drifting. That's knowing exactly where you belong. But lately something's changed, and I don't just mean the upgraded suspension system. It's this team. Started as just another job, another set of faces that would blur into all the others once the new yen cleared. Instead, they're sticking, like really sticking. Found myself installing extra emergency med supplies last week, the kind Nahi might need. Added a special compartment for Harriet's weird magical whatnots. Even set up that fancy coffee machine Sal kept hinting about. Hell, I bought a real water bowl for Rue. Ugh, that cat. Caught myself thinking, they'd better appreciate this and then realize, damn, I'm nesting for other people. The weirdest part, when I'm out on a solo job now, the van feels empty, too quiet. Never thought I'd say this, but home might not just be my rig anymore. Home might be these people. No one's gonna see this, right? Don't tell them I said that, especially not Sal or the cat. But yeah, turns out you can be both a rigger and someone who's finding their way home. Who knew?
Time, as I have noted throughout the millennia, is a river with countless branches stretching into infinity. And yet somehow, I find myself here, 1 month after what these humans dramatically refer to as the Palace Incident. The aftermath has been predictable. Humans scurrying about, attributing cosmic significance to what was, in essence, merely another nexus point in the grand tapestry of chaos. Though I will admit, the inclusion of a nuclear device did add a certain piquancy to the proceedings. My Harriet believes our elevated status in the shadow community is due to their perceived competence. A charming but incomplete assessment. The puzzle box has moved again. I can sense its presence, even now, coalescing chaos around the auteur like moths to a particularly unstable flame. As for my companions, they continue to develop in ways that are marginally interesting. Charles has begun nesting behaviors typically associated with the formation of familial bonds. Fascinating, if somewhat premature. Nahi has reduced her chemical dependencies by approximately 17.3%, a development I may have influenced through strategic placement of calming energies during her sleep cycles. And Sal, well, Sal remains Sal, though his aura indicates a growing attachment to these misfits that his corporate training never prepared him for. After centuries of observing humanity's grand designs, dragons, immortals, secret societies, there is something rather refreshing about these particular humans who believe their small actions hold cosmic significance. The amusing thing is, in this case, they may be correct. The universe, it would seem, continues to develop its rather twisted sense of humor. I suppose at the end of it all we can hope is that it will be laughing with us, and not at us. Now, if you'll excuse me, I have a plump and recently deceased rat to deliver to our friend, Mr. Beetle Bow. Also, I believe this interview has gone on for 5 minutes, and that is the minimum time threshold for Harriet to be left unsupervised. She will most certainly get into gods know what sort of trouble without constant oversight. Good day.